over 73 players just out of my high school alone that have had the opportunity to play in the NFL. And I came out there fresh from Florida. I had
Oh
this
yeah.
Florida swag coming with me. Like, I just knew how to act a fool and catch a touchdown and do a dance.
Yeah, yeah. This for the strugglers, the fighters, the ones who rise. That's right. We ain't built to fall, we built to climb. Can you feel me? I was born in the fire, molded by the pain. Every setback
The sirens fade and the helmets come off, but the competition never stops.
My boy,
Not much. Just trying to set up.
let me get right in here. Let me get right
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
Let me get right in here.
Welcome to the Shift Change Podcast. Today, got a great friend of mine, teammate, Jeff Willis. We played arena ball together up in Pennsylvania. I'll let Jeff tell you more about himself, but as always, like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below who you want to be future guests. If you have anybody that wants to be an advertisement, any kind of sponsors, things like that, always willing to help local community people out, any kind of charitable organizations, everything's always much appreciated. So as I said today, we got Jeff Willis, played wide receiver for me and Reading. And go ahead, brother. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, man, I'm super honored first and foremost, bro, just to be on the show. I think that's so super cool what you're doing, man. We know that podcasting is the way to go these days, and so I'm so super honored that you've created such a platform, and then I get to be on the show, the roomie.
That's right,
Um,
man.
but man, just a little bit about me, Jeffrey Willis. I played my collegiate ball at Langston University. I obviously played a couple years in arena where we've had a long-lasting career there. Got a chance to play in Canada a little bit, and so father of one, my daughter. She is the light and joy of who I am and how I move today. And we're super excited about that. I'm also the founder and CEO of the MCA Total Experience, which is a outdoors hands-on experience for kids and now both adults. Just teaching life skills, getting everyone back outside, getting them into fishing, hunting, just learning about those survival skills that a lot of us has really forgotten over time. And so we realize the importance of those skills, and we want to do everything that we can to ensure that we're putting the right skills in the right people's hands to enhance that area of their life. And so we're super excited about that. I'm also highly engaged in community advocacy. So my field specialty is the freshwater, because here in Florida, it plays such a significant part in what we do. I spent the last 8 years now fishing bass tournaments in that space of work. And so I'm super honored just to be able to come back home and have such an impact in my community and the things that I love to do most. That's a little bit about myself, and I'm just happy to be here with you, bro.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I enjoy following you on the socials and everything. Following the organization, all you different outdoor stuff. It's nice to see a big bass pop up on the screen, or like we were just talking about before. Getting your first big deer, big buck. But it's awesome that you've always had that kind of charisma and willing to help others, especially at that youth level. I mean, you've always talked about coaching and helping, and even when we played for the short little bit that we played with, man, you was always trying to help somebody, or you was always trying to get on that, get in the studio, record a record, do something like just just trying to help.
Man, I've always had that creative buzz.
Yeah,
I always knew that was something that I was gifted to do, and I just like being in that visionary space, that creative space. And then obviously helping others is a big part of how I was raised, and how my mom installed those principles into me at such an early age, bro. Is just to give, and it shall be given back. And so I always believed in just helping others, and my blessings will come along the way, man. So I kind of always lived by that. So whether I was playing ball or, now in the space that I'm currently in, my whole job and mission currently is to provide a service for much needed kids and families. So I'm super excited about those gifts.
heck yeah. So one thing I always thought about when I think back to our playing days. So, like we kind of briefly talked about, me and Jeff played Reading for the Reading Express. I actually found this ball. It's old. It's an
So
old ball. I grabbed from the IFL. Before I got transferred, or before I got traded to Amarillo,
Yep.
but yeah, we was roommates for the Reading Express, and that was my first time kind of on the East Coast and kind of getting to experience that kind of culture. We were pretty much right down the road from like Penn State, and we went to Philly together on a whim one day, like just hanging out. Like it was cool to experience that. And then it was that same year that Green Bay played Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And man, it was crazy. I
It
think that
was
was the year
crazy.
Wiz Khalifa released Black and Yellow. Like that whole area was nuts, man.
Man, we had such a great time on that trip to Green Bay too, man. That was a nice time for sure.
Yes, we
But
had
just
we
to
had
talk about
fun.
football, man, you don't really realize as a wide receiver like how important it is to gather those relationships and build those relationships with your quarterback. Like
Yeah,
I knew, coming in that, it's important that, man, whoever your quarterback is, bro, you got to get to know these people. Like you got to spend time with them. I was fortunate to have you as my roommate, so we got a chance to like, do a lot of talking, hanging out, understanding each other better. So that made practice so much more easier,
was.
in and into the game just because, we had those time away from the field to talk, to interact, and so it was so cool, man, because one thing about football, bro, it's so many different personalities in there, and it's
Tons.
it's 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 tons of personalities, tons of demeanor, tons of life experiences and backgrounds, and like to really get around a different, and it was different for how we managed it because in I feel when we got to that space, it was one of those things where, man, you could be here today and going tomorrow,
Yeah, for sure.
and so getting to know people was like new people was like became a norm at some point,
Yeah,
you know. And so, man, it was just unbelievable, man. I still sit back sometime and think about like, man, like we had some amazing experience in Reading, bro. And that small little town gave us so much.
it really did. Like it really is a blessing. Like me and the wife have talked about all the things that I've got to experience and we've got to experience just through sports and whatnot, being able to travel, see different cultures and different environments, meet tons of different people. But yeah, I remember you was talking about doing stuff like roommates being, connecting off the field. Like I got to thinking, like, you remember we got sucked into the show Lost. Like sucked in from episode one, season one, and like we contemplated not going to practice sometimes.
The good days,
What's
bro.
next?
The good days, man. The good days, bro. We had so much fun, man. Like
Oh
that.
man.
I always say Reading taught me how to be a professional.
Mm.
I was gifted enough to be around the right guys at the right time that really, truly, and I came out there fresh from Florida. I had
Oh
this
yeah.
Florida swag coming with me, like,
Big
like
swag, by the
I
way.
didn't
Big.
I didn't know nothing about, I just knew how to act a fool and catch a touchdown and do a dance. Like
Yep.
that's what it was. And so when I got there, man, I had guys like Carmelo Ocasio, Coach Miller,
Mm.
Coach Thompson, and Bernie, who really gave me an opportunity to go and separate myself. Here's the most important thing I think I got out of all of that. My very first year in Reading, I felt like, and I'm gonna say this, I felt like Shador feels right now.
Oh.
Like I had to wait behind people that I knew I could have been playing early, but you had to wait, man. And that humbling season made me so hungry the next year. Coming back in 2000, so that was 2008 when I got there. 2009, we won the national title.
Yeah.
And so that moment, that transformational moment that really had nothing to do with me, came back and made me a national championship and a runner up for the MVP. So that was super cool to watch
Heck yeah.
how it all transitioned for me and made it all work, man. So I just always remind kids, man, to like, bro, don't quit on it, man. Just keep, and it's frustrating in the process, bro. Like because I used to go back to that hotel every day, man. Like, man, like, dang, am I gonna make the roster this week,
Yeah.
or am I just a practice junkie? And I only end up playing like 4 games that first year, right? But then I came back that next year and I was a starter. And so I never, once I became a starter, I never dropped it. And
Yeah,
so it was just an honor, bro, just to know coming from Florida and going up north and understanding that people are different, situations look different, circumstances are different, environments are different, and learning how to navigate all of those different areas taught me how to navigate life today in a way that shows diversity, which I think is so super crucial to my now job, but also understanding the levels of leadership that's connected to it. So that was super cool, bro.
for sure. Yeah, I said it before on previous episodes and whatnot that like sports truly teach us like the life lessons that we're gonna have for the rest of our life, and
Absolutely.
we learn from all the ups and downs because like it was never really an easy road for me. Like I grinded against the other quarterbacks we had on roster, but I knew at the same time like there's levels to this stuff, and you
Yeah.
gotta play the game a little bit.
Hey man, politics is a big part of it, and it's a
It
big
is
part of life. It doesn't matter what your profession is. If you're not owning your own situation, and even sometimes it's owning your own situations, bro, you got to play the game, and it got to be the long game
sure.
because that process is important, win or loss.
Yep, for
You know,
sure.
you cannot jump that process. So I never, man, me and Ken Miller talk about this all the time, man. That I never take that moment for granted. That he taught me. He used to always say, "Pootie, act like you've been there before." And I used to be like, "Coach,
I ain't
I
never
ain't
been
never."
there before. And-
Hey, he used to be like, "Coach, I ain't never been there before, man." You
yeah,
know, but over time, like you get into year 3, year 4, you're like, "Okay, cool. Like I've been there."
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and it's cool. I can manage it differently now.
for sure. So I remember like so I think the reason we connected was because we were from the South. And I
Yeah,
know the year before I was in Alaska playing with them, and then I finished up with Tri Cities. And then after I finished that, being out on that West Coast, and we had a bunch of guys from the South on the team. So I think that just naturally we gravitated towards each other, being from the South, and having that kind of that dog mentality a little bit
yeah,
to grind it out.
you got to, bro.
But I remember specifically Muck City, right?
Yeah,
Bro, like people, I don't think people nowadays really appreciate Muck City and what it produces and what it
yeah,
has produced. So as soon as I found out Muck City, I'm like, bro, like that's NFL talent all day.
yeah,
And I knew exactly what that culture produced. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna be all right. Like, I mean, Janoris Jenkins, Anquan Bolden, Fred Taylor, who was old buddy from Florida State, Kelvin Benjamin.
yeah. Kevin Benjamin, yo.
Like just it just produced so much talent. Like,
Man, over 73 players just out of my high school alone that have had the opportunity to play in the NFL. I did not meet those criteria, I guess. But you know what's cool, man, is and I always say this, like for a kid who didn't play high school ball and got to college and got a chance to like walk on from playing basketball in the gymnasium and having the opportunity to become an All-American, like I realized that my community built something in me that I didn't even realize I had.
facts.
Just being around all that talent and playing like little league and like it was never really my dream though. You
Mm,
know, like I thought I was going to the NBA, bro.
really?
Or because that's what I love. Like
Sure.
basketball was my first love. You know, like I didn't love football, bro. That's why I didn't play it in school. You know,
Hmm.
like all my friends did, but that was never really my thing. And then when I got an opportunity to play once I got in college, it really opened the doors for me. But going back to just the muck, man, the muck really taught us survival.
Mm,
You know, like because you really have to get it off of the mud. Like you really got to grind your way out in order to get out. And so that was one of the things that drove me when I left because going home was not an option.
sure.
You know, going back to that environment was not what I wanted for me or for my future. I did eventually come back, just due to the space and the growth that I had already encountered throughout my experiences. But man, I don't think I'd have made it if I didn't have the roots of my hometown to be able to go off and feel that I can compete with anybody in the world.
Sure.
And felt like I was gonna win because that's the mentality of our community. It's just, nobody's better than me. And so,
And
and
that's
that's not
real,
that's
man.
not
It's
and that's
real.
and that's not and that's not a boastful type thing. It was just a mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some people don't understand the that fine line of cockiness and confidence.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's when you find that guy who's overly ambitious and like willing to bet on himself, that's the guy I want to ride with at the end of the day.
And I was one of those guys.
For sure, for sure. I
Hey,
wanted to, I want to try to get you as many touchdowns as possible so you can jump up on the wall and just raise your hands at him, be like, "Hey, I'm here."
hey, we have arrived, mama.
That's
Man, that's bro. I'm telling you, man. When you talk about a real, I thought it was so cool to have this conversation with you, bro, because it gives you the opportunity to like really go back and reprocess what actually happened.
yeah.
Because I never really talk about like the journey, right? Like
Mm,
you never really talk about the journey, but getting the opportunity, bro, just to come back and just relive those moments, man, it's truly a blessing, bro, because you now see it. I tell my daughter all the time, like, baby, you never really got a chance to see daddy play.
sure.
But like, if you would have been there to see daddy play, what you experienced at a bass tournament now is nothing compared to those 15 or 20,000 people screaming and yelling.
It was
Like,
wild, man.
it was a show.
We talk about we all I had the dream of want to make it to the NFL, and to me, the process that I went through, like the indoor league, the arena league, was just a stepping stone for me that I wanted, just to get film, play against different talent, whatever. But I'll be honest, I'm truly blessed that I got that opportunity to play in those types of environments with those type of people because there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. That 50-yard field, 25 yards wide, basically in a hockey rink with people right on top of you, booing you, cheering you, doing whatever, willing to buy you a beer while you playing. Like it's absurd. But man, it was experiences that I cherish for the rest of my life.
But you know what, too, though? Man? I thought was really cool about all of it is that even though we wasn't NFL players at the time, we still got a chance to experience the lifestyle without the money.
Yes. Yes.
Like we really got a chance to experience the lifestyle without the money. What we got in Reading was by far like NIL deals to date.
Sure. Sure.
Because bro, we had cars, we had the finest hotels, like we lived like bums. We were well taken care of to be in a small environment such as Reading.
I was super blessed when I believe it was Coach Thompson that called me originally, but so when I was in Alaska, like our owner, he lied about a lot, and we didn't have money. So there was a couple of weeks where we didn't get paid, and then the team ended up folding before we went to Tri Cities mid-season. And so Tri Cities was great, amazing, but when I went to Reading, like you said, it was like they took care of us. The
It was
hotel
top
was
notch.
nice. I mean, never had to worry about getting paid. Any kind of thing we needed on the side, they made sure we were taken care of. I mean, hell, there was a Hooters in the parking lot of the hotel that we could walk to.
Bro, I ain't paid for an oil change.
Oh,
I did buy some gas, but I didn't pay for an oil change. I didn't have, bro, and I had keys, bro. Like,
you
you
you were on a
can't,
different level than me. You had it. I mean, I remember us going into the office one day, and I don't know if it was like the cheerleading or the PR person, the girl, and she was like, "Hey, we're trying to do this like choreography for like I think it was when my hands go up type." And you was like choreographing for them. He's like, "Hey, this song, this yeah, yeah, you good,
yeah,
do
yeah,
that."
man.
So it was like those type memories that I just like you were saying, it having this platform has allowed me to reflect on those old memories and really truly appreciate those smaller, finer things in life that have really built to where I am now. So,
Yeah, man, that's so super cool, man. I mean, we get the opportunity to truly grow in those experiences and then try and just pass them on, man, because again, like, you know, some people think that once you're done in college, that's it,
mm,
and then there's some other opportunities that could get you seen. I mean, I know a couple different guys that got some CFL and some A1 opportunities, coming from where we came from and even back to the NFL. So,
sure.
scouts are definitely out looking. One thing I always say, people talk about this whole arena space, man, but it's extremely hard to run routes and catch balls in such a confined space.
Yeah.
And so it takes a certain skill level to, understand that you're running a 35-yard bomb, but you also got to calculate how close or how far you are from this wall to be able to, catch the ball, but also embrace yourself fast enough to be able to not flip it. And granted, sometimes you went over it, but all those small things, man, would have made my game. It made my game such different as it related to like the outdoor game.
Mm,
Just getting in and out of cuts, in and out of breaks. You coming from those close to now being back out there on that big field really changed the game. And I thought that
yeah.
that's something that translates that I think sometimes coaches don't pay attention to.
Facts. And that's the same with me as a quarterback. When I got done in the off season of playing arena ball, I'd go back home to the college or whatever, or help the quarterback coach or whatever, and I'd see windows. I'm like, he's there. He's still there. The window's still open. Outdoor game windows were wide open. I was like, man, I wish I'd have had this prior. Like, if you could build that skill set and then go play at a higher level, man, it's
So think
tenfold.
about this, man. Like, so this year was my first year as the assistant offensive coordinator. So I got a chance to
Awesome.
really be
Congrats.
involved in the game planning of each week. And I have this concept from Arena that zone, you can't be right. Man, I'm just gonna outrun you.
Yeah.
Like if this linebacker shoot out, I'm sitting it down. I don't care if I'm at 14, I'm sitting it. I'm catching this first down. That safety got to come make a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I realized that what we did in the arena game could also translate to the big field, bro, it was on.
I bet. Yeah,
It
that's
was on.
awesome. I will say and you may not even, you might have known this, but maybe didn't really, maybe you was just still learning it. But you were one of the first receivers that I truly understand. Like nowadays, we talk about smart receivers. Like it's not like, hey, this is the way it was on paper, so this is the way coach wants me to run it. I'm gonna run this 12 to 15 yard shallow cross or whatever. Like you read the field and then you adjusted, and us being able to be on that same page, that was a game changer. Like it really was.
It's a,
And I give
it's
you
a
mad
game.
props for that.
Bro, it is a game changer, man. That's why I say, like, man, it's so important to build relationships with your quarterback. Because I think sometimes if we didn't have those conversations in that hotel room as roommates and all that kind of stuff, or going to dinner or just taking road trips, I don't think it'll just all translate it like that. And
I
so
agree.
it translates because of the relationship we built outside of the football field. And that's always crucial with any young receivers, man. Some of you guys out there that's maybe even be listening that's a wide receiver, bro. Get in tune with your quarterback. That stuff is important. You guys have to be on the same page, and so that's super cool. You gotta love each other because you gotta go to war for each other because he's gonna throw you some places sometimes where you're gonna have to go get it. Or you're gonna have to just know that he putting you in the right position, and so that's always cool, man. It's
Yeah,
always
for
cool, bro.
sure.
And I forever, forever, forever love you for that experience.
I appreciate it,
I
bro.
love that. I love that. That's so
Yeah,
super cool, though, man.
the that type of environment, like I say it all the time, especially at work at the firehouse and whatnot, like having that bond, having that brotherhood it's
Yeah.
hard, man. It's hard to find, and especially in today's world. But like if you could have that locker room mindset and people bonding and growing with one another, truly caring about one another, even if you just met them weeks, days, hours prior. Like if you learn and trust them, I mean the performance of whatever it's whether it's on the field or on the fire ground, like it goes so much more efficiently and so much more successful rather than just be like I'm out here for me and screw the rest of y'all. So
Yeah, man. That whole team bonding and camaraderie thing, I know you guys experience the same thing in the firehouse, bro. There's just a level of protection that y'all have to have for each other. And you learn that stuff through football. Like it gives you those unique skill sets that carry you beyond football.
mhm.
And you can say the same thing even with your marriage, bro. Like we get married and we get in these relationship and it's give and take just like on the football field. Like
Facts.
you gotta step in and show up, even if you're like, dang, man, I don't even want to run that play right now, coach. Like for real, like that ain't it, man. Can we run Poco? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to go score. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
now he want to run mesh, and I'm like,
Yep.
like you think about it, and it's like, okay, cool. You gotta suck it up and still do what's best for the unit, the team, the house, the job, the whoever you're leading. You know what I mean? So those moments really help shape, you know, me today for sure, man, and all of my leadership spaces.
Yeah, and I second that 100%, especially like we talk about it, especially in like a marriage or even just any kind of partnership or whatever. Some people say it's 50-50. It's not 50-50. It's
It's
100
never gonna.
together. Some days I'm at 30 and I need you to carry that other 70. There's days out there like you were hurt, you had some nagging stuff, footballing you, whatever. And you're like, bro, I just ain't got it. So and then some days I don't got it, but you go make a spectacular play and you pick up that slack
I
for
pick
one
up the
another.
slack. Yeah.
And it all works when it works seamlessly, man, it's a beautiful thing, especially on that field.
I mean, that's when it's great though, right? Like you just knowing that, like today, bro, I'm having a rough day, bro. Like I'm gonna need you to just like let's just get through practice. Like let's make it look good, but let's get through it. Like,
That's
and there's always moments where you would come to the huddle and be like, hey, no matter what, I'm throwing it. And so that level of confidence and all that kind of stuff, bro, over time, it just build resilience and faith in one another to be like, okay, cool, like man, I just ran a Poco, bro, but I gotta come back and do it again. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's that weight too, though, because you don't want to fail.
yeah.
Because everybody. I remember, bro, we was to call plays, and Nani would look around in the huddle and be like, "Hey, Pootie, I beat you in the end zone." And so it was cool, man, because bro, when I would catch the ball, I would turn around and look, and his 7 foot self running down the lane. I'm like, bro, but man, those are moments, bro, that would never, ever, ever go away. Like ever go away.
Facts.
Because
Yeah,
it was just so much character built in that time frame that really shaped us for real.
for sure. So, give me, is there two questions? We'll start with the first one. Welcome to the league type moment. Was there a moment where you was like, whew, this another level? Or like, just like kind of kept you on your toes a little bit, whether a practice or a game?
So I would say yes, my first year, man, 2008, bro. It was a hard year for me because I had Foxy. You probably don't even remember Foxy.
That was before
But
me.
Fox Shawworth was one of the wide receiver. Carmelo Ocasio was the second, and Yarden Brantley was the third. There was no way I was playing.
Mm.
I had to literally like sit down and wait for somebody to like, wait my turn. But then that year, that second year, 2009, going into that year, I broke the starting lineup, and I knew at that point I was the face of the franchise.
Mm.
Like I knew that it had been shifted from Carmelo to me. And so it was cool because the moment I felt like I made it was when a kid from Muck City was on a billboard in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Heck yeah.
So that was like a real highlight for me. That was like, okay, cool. Like, boy, you have really done something significant. And I really didn't even know at the time. I didn't appreciate it because I never saw it like that.
Yeah, you was just in the moment. Like it was
I was just
just
in the moment, bro. But like literally, they put this kid from Belglade, Florida, on a billboard in Reading, Pennsylvania, for over 2 years.
That's awesome, man. It really is awesome, man. It was one of those things that where like that type of community, they really buy into their sports and their
Yeah.
athletes. Like people joke about it like with the Steelers or even like the colleges, the Penn States or whatever. But
Hmm.
like if you're good, you're royalty to them.
Yeah,
They love you,
they do.
man.
They
And
do.
it was something special to experience. Um, I remember us going to like a meet and greet. It was in the mall right around
Jersey
the corner.
reveal.
Yeah, and like so many people were there. I'm like, at first, my coach was like, "Hey, we got a meet and greet, and the whole team's gonna be there. We're gonna introduce the team, whatever." I'm like, "Phew, what are we gonna get like 7 people here?" And the whole bottom floor was packed,
Packed
and
with
then
people.
people
Yeah,
up on the
bro.
top watching. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is different."
That's different. So that was like 2010, 2011, because we
Yeah,
had
yeah,
just got those. We had just got those new jerseys,
yep.
and they revealed the jerseys in the mall that day.
That's exactly what it was. Yep, the jersey reveal.
Man, which was really crazy because I felt like that was the turning point for us that year.
Hmm.
You know, getting because that was the year we came off of. This is year two after the championship. We won a championship in '09. This is the comeback year
Yeah,
that we were supposed to go back and win it again. And I think we lost to um who did we lose to? I forget who we lost
I don't
to,
know. I
bro.
got cut. I went to Amarillo. I got traded. But I,
But
I was watching, but I was watching from afar.
hey, but look though, don't feel bad because I left what a year later. I finished that 1 year and then I ended up going to Lehigh after that. And then I ended up leaving Lehigh and came to Dallas with the Dallas Marshals and I finished there. So that was really cool. But that was a really cool transition too though, man, because my daughter was just born. I was 4 games into the season and I just got this weight on me, bro, that was just kind of like, okay, cool. You got a kid now,
Mm,
you can't keep chasing this unrealistic financial job. And so I started thinking about legacy.
yeah,
What I wanted that to look like and how did I want to build that out? How can I leave my daughter something that I didn't have? And
that's
how
real.
can I do a really good job at trying to set her up and building the right connections in the right network so that even if something ever were to happen to me, she'll have some form of network that she could always go back to.
Yeah, you were
And
laying
so
that
I thought
foundation for her.
I started to lay that foundation, man. So I walked in my coach's room office that night or that afternoon, and I literally walked in there and was just like, Coach, man, I can't do it no more. Like, like I had lost the. I was doing it at a level of just knowledge, not work ethic.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you know me, bro. Like I'm gonna stay out to practice. I'm gonna get those extra reps in. Like I'm gonna run all the routes, special team, like scout team. I'm doing all that. That was my style of play.
yeah.
I ain't coming out against scout because I'm going against the first D. If not,
Mhm.
that's where I want to be. So give me Sam Bryant, give me Sam, give me Clarence. Like I want to go against them. I don't want to go against the second string group.
Yeah,
And so I realized, bro, that my time was coming to an end. And so I walked in and I was just like, Coach, I just got to do something different, man. And I picked those rods up. I didn't even know what I was doing, to be honest with you, bro. Like I just knew that I felt like God was sending me on a new path. And, rightfully so, man. He opened every door for me to walk through, in this whole process, became a business owner, became a founder of a nonprofit. And, you look back and be like, man, did I finish the job properly? I would say, yeah. Even in the midst of me, leaving 4 games in, man, I feel like I left everything out there on that field, though, bro. And I
that's
was able to walk off with no surgeries, no crazy injuries. Like, I was able to do it I mean, I had some hurt knees, but I ain't never had nothing crazy. So I could say that I had a good 12-year season, 15-year season, bro, of just great work.
yeah,
Bunch of 1,000-yard years and 80, 90, 100 catches. Like I've done all that. So it was really good, but really transformational too.
yeah. Well, man, yeah, that's the beauty of what we were able to experience is like be able to lay a foundation or have those building blocks for ourselves to continue to, like you said, pursue those opportunities that the Lord has put in front of us with the people that we've met, that networking, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. And obviously, anybody watching, I'm gonna post all Jeff's socials in the descriptions. I'm gonna have the organizations that he works with and owns flashed out. So all the support, all the love, anybody who's out there reaching needs a helping hand or wants to get more involved, those contacts will definitely be available. So going back to, let's say, like, who was a player or a teammate, even if they weren't a teammate, just a player that you played with or looked up to, who was like that motivational person, whether it was arena or outdoor leagues?
So I got three players that I could say that I've had direct contact with that I think influenced my game on three different levels.
Okay.
So Santonio Holmes was probably my biggest influence as a wide receiver, him and Chad Johnson, but I had tangible touches to him. So he was the guy I seen playing high school that made it look cool. He was the guy that got to Ohio State that won a national championship, that did it at a high level, and obviously a Super Bowl winning player as well. He
Probably one of the
changed the
best Super
way,
Bowl catches of all time.
probably one of the best Super Bowl catches of all time. Growed up two streets over from me. So I got a chance to watch him as a young guy growing up. Loved his game, loved how he played. Loved the tenacity that he played with, and then his route running. I've always been big on route running, getting in and out of cuts and making people miss and all that kind of stuff. So him and Chad Johnson was definitely my two fundamental guys that really mentored me in the sport. Nobody took their time with me like Carmelo Ocasio. I don't think I become who I became in Reading without Ocasio. He really, in a very indirect way, taught me how to play wide receiver in the indoor game.
Sure.
He was really good for that. And then a guy that really held me accountable all the time was, Matt Sola. I give Matt Sola that. And then Rob Flowers has just been just like a big brother to me forever. So those were the most impactful guys that I think played. And you notice I called three guys out of Reading.
Yeah.
Because before them, it was Reckless Jeff. So, they straight raw, bro. Just straight raw. Like raw and reckless, right? So, but those guys really, really humbled me and allowed me to know that I could be really, really good, but be a professional while doing so. And I thought that was the most important thing, man. Matt Sola, when I first got to Reading from Tallahassee, because Reading got me from Tallahassee with the Tallahassee Titans. And so when Reading called me up and told me to come work out, I get up here, I go work out, bro. I take all my stuff. I ain't coming back. That's what's my mindset. Like, whoever get in front of me while I'm in Pennsylvania, they finna get the business, boy. And so I got out there, man. I ran routes. I didn't even run no 40, none of that. I just got out there one-on-ones and like I went with the routes that I knew I could win on no matter what. So if you was a hard jammer, whatever, like I knew if you come jam me, bro, you wasn't going, no, you got a chance. No.
You about to get those wiggles.
You about to get these wiggles. And so that was just so cool, man, to just kind of experience, bro, and just know that, man, Matt Sola them and his parents, bro, I told Chris Thompson and Bernie, I was just like, hey, man, I can't go back to Florida, y'all. Like, if I go back, I probably won't make it back, like not because of like dangers or anything like that, but just on the sheer fact that, man, when you go home, bro, it's just a lot of negative things that you can go get into. And so I was looking for a life change. And Matt Sola and his parents, man, they allowed me to stay with him for like 3 months, bro. I always, send them stuff, just to show love, man, because, they took a chance on this black kid from Florida with dread. They ain't know nothing about, let me come stay in their crib, gave me the opportunity to eat off their table, just completely open their house up to me, man. And, for me, bro, that changed my life forever because they didn't have to do that, like they didn't have to do that. And so like that what makes me serve people even the more because it gave me an opportunity to do something that, somebody did for me. And so I get to return the favor now by being a blessing to other people. And so that's the stuff that now drives me.
Dude, that's awesome. That's part of the story. Like I didn't know. Like I knew y'all. I know you and Coach was tight, but like I maybe didn't know the background behind the stuff. But at the same time, we was just like I was saying earlier, we were just in the moment. We was just living. We cared about one another, but like we still had those walls up to some degree.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
wasn't showing our vulnerabilities back then for real.
No, bro. It's so like I always tell these kids, man, that's why I always say, bro, like, don't let the stigma of what you are unaware of dictate your outcome. Be open minded to all things, bro. Understand that diversity is so important. It's more important than you just standing alone with your demographic of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, man, we people always talk about, like, I always get into these little moments and people ask me about like racism and all that kind of stuff, and I'd be like, bro, like, you know, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I'm like, if you run into the right people, bro, and you carry yourself the right way, people can't, even if you don't like me, you gotta like me anyway.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's just all about how you carry yourself and your appearance to other people, because it matters. I mean, people would always say, unfortunately, I don't care if you're a bum in the streets or whether you black or white, but if you're a bum in the streets and you look a certain way, it don't matter what restaurant you walk in, somebody in that restaurant is gonna look at you crazy.
Yeah.
Color don't matter. It's just all about how you carry yourself, how you manage your outer appearance, and how you open up and actually speak. I remember when I got to Reading, nobody knew a word I was saying. And now I'm often told that, man, you talk like a white boy. And I'll be like, what? What is a white boy? Like,
Yeah.
what's the English of a white boy? Like, I don't understand that. And so it's just, you learn to navigate spaces. And so I tell myself sometimes, man, that I found myself in rooms that I know only my demeanor and how open I am to different situations and scenarios, that I'm able to now walk into this space and be productive because of how I've learned to navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
that's pretty
mean,
cool.
that is cool. And that's real. Like it really is. And like me and some of the guys at the firehouse, like they joke with me because I'm able to connect with so many of them because my upbringing was different, my playing days. Like I joke with my wife. My wife's my first white roommate that I've had since my mom and dad. Like I don't know anything else. But it was like you said, it doesn't matter what color you are, it's how you carry yourself and how you treat other people. So when I was in, as a white guy on a predominantly black team, no matter where it was, whether it was in Mississippi or Alaska or Washington State or Texas or Pennsylvania, like I earned the respect of those guys, and we cared for one another enough to protect one another when maybe those outside circumstances were maybe a little fishy. And we knew
Right.
at the end of the day we had each other's back and we respected one another.
hmm And that's what it's about, really. That's really all it's about, for real. Just like, how do we, come together and form a mutual respect for each other. And that's on the field or off the field. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, for you to call them a friend, you got to be able to go to battle for them.
Facts.
Or they're just an associate. And I think people need to, like, separate what that looks like for real in their life. Like, everybody always say friends, 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 bro. Like, everybody ain't friends. Like, we hadn't talked in years, and we can still get on this phone or get on your podcast like today and chop it up as if we just talked yesterday, because the
Absolutely.
relationship was real. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so it's, even, you don't have to talk to your friend every single day to know that, when we do connect, it's love, and it's valuable support. And so that's just what it is, man. And I think sometimes people just get so super sensitive about that kind of stuff and unaware. Um, I always call it misplaced emotions, is what I call it.
Ooh, I like that. I
Misplaced
might I might
emotions.
steal that. But
Yeah, misplaced emotions, man. You gotta get your emotions in the right place.
yeah, because I mean people are definitely emotionally
Yeah,
sensitive
for
nowadays.
sure.
So we were kind of our playing days were kind of in that beginning of social media, but not people didn't really understand social media like it is now. Like, could you imagine playing during these days nowadays, whether it's NIL, recruiting capabilities, just go viral on a highlight. Like I can instantly think of 3 or 4 plays that I mean, I could think instantly millions of views for your plays. I mean, because the ability for you to run crossing routes or go in just your ability in the end zone to make the play happen was spectacular. And on one end, I think like I would love to play in today's industry because I would capitalize on everything that I could do and make as much for
Yeah.
myself and my family as I could. But at the same time, I could see that other side going real bad too. Because I mean, people people gonna find it. People gonna find it. But
Man, you
would
know what's
you
crazy?
what would you consider like playing nowadays like, if it was back in the day? Like, would you appreciate it or would you hate it?
I, I would definitely appreciate it because I'd have definitely benefited a lot more given the proper support. And I think a lot of times the difference for some of us, bro, is that, we didn't have the right people pushing us. Whether it be agents, whether it be because it wasn't about talent, it was about exposure.
Yeah,
A lot of us were super, super talented, but we didn't have the proper support, so exposure. So we ended up in smaller schools or, we ended up in arena ball, things like that, because we didn't come from bigger programs that, would have given us the opportunity to do some of those things. Um, doesn't take away, because if you think about it, when we were in arena ball, bro, we were playing against guys that went to UM. We were playing against real NFL talent in arena
yeah.
ball. So it wasn't
Oh,
like we
all
were playing
day.
against no bombs. Like we were playing against some dogs.
When we played against Chicago when I was in Alaska, Jared Payton was our running back. I mean, Jared Payton was a running back. Jim McMahon was the head coach, and or Steve Mongo McMichael was the head coach, and Jim McMahon was the owner. I mean, that's Walter Payton's son right there, who played at Miami. Who, like,
That's
that's just
so
amazing.
like even just our team. You had Clarence that played for the Arizona Cardinals. You had
Yep,
Sam Bryant that went to Pitt. You
yep,
had James Bryant that went to. I mean, you had Yarden that went to the Eagles. So I mean, we played with NFL talent. It wasn't like we were playing in some bum, you know, against a bum group of guys. Like we were playing against legit, fresh out of college talent, and we played it at a high level.
yeah,
So nobody could really take those opportunities and what we did and how we did it away from us and who we did it against. Like to be honest, my community don't even have an appreciation for what I did in the football arena just because
mhm,
of what came out of my area.
yeah,
So it's awesome and refreshing to hear that from you as a quarterback back in the day like that to like say that out loud. I need that sound bite. But it's just so super cool, bro, to like really go back and be like, man, Jeff, you really did have 110 catches. You really did have 1,300 yards. You really did have 33 touchdowns. Like you really did do that in the arena game, bro.
yeah.
And not many receivers had 110 with 33 tubs.
Heck no.
Like bro, like
I knew you and Clarence were on another level because when we went, we had the membership to the Parisi Speed School, the
oh
gym,
yeah,
and I watched y'all work on y'all's craft, and I did not. I mean, it's funny saying it now because like I've talked about it in the past, but like being a former collegiate strength and conditioning coach that I was, like I know it all now, but I wish I knew it as a player. But y'all were kind of the first ones that really taught me what real speed work looked like, what real footwork and what real agility looked like with whatever it was, whether it was the banded work, whether it was the agility ladder, just proper techniques. And you took your raw athleticism and then you put that work ethic with knowledge. And then I mean, it was off the
I'm gonna tell you
charts.
this, bro. You probably don't know this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. The reason I had that year, I had the year. So the year we won the championship is the year I came off of that Excel Speed training program. That following year was the year I had those 110 catches, those 1,300 yards, and those 33 touchdowns. That was the championship year. That was the break going into 2009 camp.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did it again the following year. But
Yep.
they brung us in after we won the championship. They trained us that off season going into the new year. And I was at my most elite. I
You
felt
was
like at
definitely
that
elite.
point, bro, at that point, I felt like there was no coverage that as a group, we couldn't beat.
I agree.
And we knew where the ball was going at the snap.
Yeah.
So it was plays where I could see the linebacker because I was in the middle a lot. So I could tell when the linebacker just trying to come bounce me to get to that curl flat, and I would make him miss. But as soon as I realized he was trying to get to that curl flat, I knew if the safety was far back, I could sit it down and catch a 13, 14-yard ball and just get missing, versus even running the poco route. So
Yeah.
it was just small things like that, bro, that really, really shifted, and it was crazy because in college, I didn't train as hard. That was the first year because of Clarence. I trained and Sola, because Sola was a part of that too. Me, Clarence, and Sola, bro, we train, and
Yeah. It
train.
was.
That was
It
our
was.
daily job.
It definitely showed. Yeah, like I said, y'all might not have known it, but it definitely showed for me being kind of an outsider, joining in kind of behind the game, and I was like, okay, like there's levels to this for sure.
Man,
But
you know what? I never knew that, man. But I appreciate that level of respect for the game, man.
for real,
Like
man.
that's cool to hear. That's cool to hear, bro.
Yeah, there was
That's
a
cool
lot
to
about
hear.
that off season and that kind of that preseason, whatever, beginning of the season that I took whenever I started coaching because I knew where I came from and I knew what I assumed was high level talent. And then when I started coaching guys, I'm like, hey, coach, I want to be a 4-4 guy this year by the time of the pro day or whatever. I'm like, well, you're a 4.79 right now. You might not have 4.4 in you, but these are the tools that are going to get you towards that.
Right.
So, but yeah, I definitely took a lot of that knowledge and built off that education that I learned when I didn't know it was how valuable it was in the moment. So,
No, I mean, that strength and conditioning and that training, man, really, really catapulted my game for sure. It made me much more explosive. I can get in and out of those breaks much quicker, much faster, much explosive. Like, it's different when you're coming out of it and you're just being quick, but then you add the power to your quickness. It it
mhm.
it shifted the game. Like, man, we was catching hitches, taking hitches to the crib. Like it was like, it was just an awesome time, man, to just, really, really play that game. And so we're just honored to be able to have done that with such great men because that's definitely a highlight to my life for sure. And so couple things real quick that I would love to leave here. Two things in particular. One I'm gonna say about community, man. As now a community advocate, for the uplifting of community, man, I just want to speak directly to our generation, in reference to, how important it is to really truly play a part, in what your local community is doing. A lot of them is now ran by our elders, our grandparents, our late uncles and aunties and stuff like that, man. And it's really time for that younger generation to kind of take leadership in some of those roles. So I would ask that if anybody that's listening to this and have any desire to do community work, man, get involved in your local community, figure out what's going on because these communities are changing rapidly. And so for you to keep some of the legacy things that you've had and that was built in you, when you were a teen, some of those standards and stuff like that, man, get in and play a part in that. The other side of that is, I leave you guys with this, is just understand the significance of diversity. It plays a big part in every phase of your life. Let's not be stagnant and thinking that everything is done one way. There's always multiple ways to skin a cat. And so We got to figure out different ways and different opportunities, and utilizing our resources as a collective to continue to just push these agendas forward, no matter what that agenda is. It takes a family, a village, and so that's so super important. So that's where my heart is in terms of service and leadership. And so again, it's always awesome to come on the show, bro, talk about football and talk about what we did do and how great we were at doing it. But it's also about leaving a legacy and having some impact while you're here. And so I'm super thankful just for having me on the show, giving me the opportunity to talk through some of these things, reminisce a little bit. We definitely got to stay in touch more.
For
We'll
sure.
definitely do that. Just a blessing, man, just to be on the show. I look forward to part two someday.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm definitely going to have you on again. There's plenty more for us to talk about, but I definitely second that. As far as the community outreach, community is just there's nowadays there's too many opportunities for people to just put in a little bit of work to potentially make a big difference. Because we had those people, like you said earlier in the episode, we had those couple people that just did a couple of generous things that we really just didn't appreciate at the time that we're so grateful for now. And any way that I can help you or we can build on some stuff, whether it's, some outdoor stuff, maybe get you out here to Mississippi, maybe get me to wherever you're at in Florida or Louisiana, wherever you travel to do an event. Maybe, hey, we got bass fishing competitions out here on the reservoir that I live on, so we can get you out here to win something.
Hey, hey, man, I love to come out just for a hunt. Like I love to come out just for a hunt, just to come kick it with you. I think it'd be super cool in itself. So I'm open for it. Maybe we can do something, shoot a video while we're out or something, getting a hunt on or something to go on the YouTube channel. But
Yeah,
man, if
we
anybody
didn't even
out there
talk about
wanted to
golf.
follow,
We didn't even talk about
follow me
golf.
in any, we didn't even get into golf, but maybe we'll save it for the next show. Cause I'm that's,
I
but
see the
again, that's
swing.
one
The
of those
swing,
things,
the
not to
swing
throw it off,
videos are
but that's
getting
one of
better.
those. They've gotten a lot better, bro. Just saying. But that was just something that was something I took up, man, just because again, when you talk about resources, opportunity, golf is a really good place to navigate arenas that, doesn't really match where you come from. And so just getting out, understanding that diversity, going back to diversity, going to get around people that, you know, don't necessarily come from where you come from, and opportunities that you learn while you're out there. And golf teaches you so much about obstacles and how to be consistent and how to do one thing the right way over and over and over again. And so I've had a great 4 years just learning the game. I've gotten a lot better. I'm still playing amateur golf, nowhere near pro yet, but I always say, man, bogey golf is good golf.
Heck yeah, it is.
So
Heck yeah, it is.
so every now and again I can get some pars and I might get lucky and get an eagle every 40 outings. But I always say bogey golf is good golf to an amateur. So I'm super excited about that experience and the opportunity it has provided after the game of football. So I'm super excited about that
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah, I truly, and I will say this to anybody that's listening, that's the golf course is the most beautiful networking landscape that there
Oh
is.
yeah,
Because if you're trying to meet somebody or get to know somebody or see if you want to work with somebody in partnership, yeah, you can take them to lunch, you can buy them a coffee or whatever, but that's just a short little interaction and probably not going to be authentic with you to a certain degree. When you go out there for 4 or 5 hours on a golf course and you're chopping it up and you're hanging out and you really get to see how people react to a little bit of adversity, doing good, doing bad, like it genuinely shows, okay, like yeah, I want to do business with this person. I really think the golf course opens up so many opportunities for people outside of
for sure.
normal business mold.
Absolutely. I totally 100% support that.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, man,
Well,
that's my deal.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad, like you said, it's been too long. We don't talk enough. We keep up a little bit on socials, but it's not enough. But I'm glad we were able to make this happen. We'll definitely get together for a second episode. So I'm gonna close it like I'm gonna close every episode out. And in this house, everybody goes home, but everybody comes back. Be the reason somebody shows up to their next shift. This is Shift Change.